We're rolling.
We're rolling. What's slap a number then? What are we doing?
This is episode
244.
of SlapperCast, everybody.
Is this our weekly podcast?
It is indeed.
Are we in Ireland yet?
No.
This looks like an interstate.
It is. Yeah. They have them in
They
Ireland.
call them interstates in other countries or no?
We don't
Highways?
we don't have states. We have counties.
Counties?
Yeah.
What do they call them out there?
Intercounties.
I'm going to say that when I get there.
Yeah. Do that. They'll
See
love
what
it.
happens?
Yeah, today's a big day. Today is our first day in Granbury. Today is also the day that Ireland play New Zealand in rugby.
Yeah.
The World Cup, mind you. So it's a big day. Tomorrow, the Astros take on... Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. The Astros take on the Rangers. And for those of you listening abroad, Rangers, any and all Rangers teams are shit, just so you know. They all need to go. I hate Rangers. Anyway,
What makes people like the difference between the Astros and Texas Rangers? I mean, is it
well,
just location?
class.
Oh.
Class, yeah. I mean, you've got no class if you're a Rangers fan, and if you're... Well, it's true. You don't necessarily like soap if you're a Rangers fan, and you're usually kind to animals if you're an Astros fan. It's one of those things that's weird. The closer you get to Oklahoma, the more you abuse animals and are ignorant in the ways of hygiene. Anyway, I digress. We have, yes, our first time in Granbury. This is good. We're on our way to Granbury, Texas, and there's a place called the Pub McDonough. I've been dealing with a young lady named Shaylee. She's the one that booked it. She's been tremendous in their promotion, their excitement for this weekend. So they're building a new pub. So the old one was kind of, I've only heard. The old one was kind of smaller, so there's a big area outside, and with a tent and all that, and their food's really good from what I hear. We've got some local people coming up tonight, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then tomorrow, which of course now is in the past because we're slapping here in the future. It's our first time playing the Southeast Texas Renaissance Festival. Very happy about that because usually and typically they don't want electric bands in a Renaissance fair. It doesn't make sense. But then again, neither do 99% of the costumes. So there's that. And this is a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more family friendly. It's a lot more, it's beautiful grounds from what I've seen. Again, only pictures. So can't wait to show you photographs from that.
Yeah.
We've heard rumors that there might be a merch maiden in tow for that. So that's going to be the end of all our gear. We're not taking any t-shirts to Ireland because, once she gets her hands on it, it's gone. And she sells everything. Now, how's everything else? Everybody good?
Good.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I think the last time we were slappercasting, we were all separate, or you guys were riding together, and
Yeah, we had it in beds.
Heidi was high as a kite, we couldn't find her, and I was on my, so it was,
It's so much different driving. I don't know how you do it. I was like,
did you capture that?
I think it was right before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We didn't start until after that.
Did you tell the story of your near-death experience?
I don't think so. Did we? I don't think we did.
I think it's time.
It saved Chad's life.
I think it was after we recorded.
Oh, it was after we recorded?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was, we were just driving, and we're on, the road, and all of a sudden I just, when you feel something coming, like, on your shoulder, it felt like a hand was this close to my face, and I look over, and this SUV was literally on top of us. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, and I just took us that way. We had to do a little slurs. I still think that's what happened to my air conditioning.
Did you?
I think that's what happened to my AC. Was that moment?
Oh, really?
That's what it was.
What happened to your AC?
It broke and it leaked everywhere. So my car the next morning was soaking wet, and it stunk like an animal crawled in and died. And so I'm like,
maybe that's what it smells like in Dallas.
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, and so this coming week we're doing the Keneally's. You want to talk about a landmark, boys and girls?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Keneally's has been around for what anniversary is this?
40th.
Is it the 40th?
Yeah.
40th.
Since I was in high school, basically.
Wow. Yeah. They and Molly's, most of the Molly's and Kirkendall anyway, have been around for. We've spoken about this so much on SlapperCast that it's nearly tiring. but a real Irish pub. John Flowers was the owner. He's no longer with us, he's passed. But Keneally's was the first. I don't know which is older, Griff's or Keneally's, but I never warmed to Griff's. Griff's always made me feel like I wanted to go shower. And good people in there. We know Griff Griffin, Michael Griff Griffin, the owner. I mean, the ex-owner, but he, great man. A couple of failed political runs, but really just a genuine man. Yeah.
Did he run for mayor or something?
Did he run for mayor? He probably did. He probably ran for mayor. I gotta look that up too. I forget.
Sure.
Good guy. Houston, you gotta get a massive campaign to get something like that. To win something like that for Houston. Such a monstrosity of an area. And anyway, I digress. Again, so we're doing the 40th anniversary for Keneally's, and we've always had such a great time there. People rave about their pizza, but all their food's good. So that's going to be next. Is that Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, and then Sunday we're back for the Southeast Texas Renaissance Festival. So you do yourself a favor, jump on in, come on out. It'll be a lot of fun. And then also, I'm probably going to be able to announce it next week, but we do have our first California date in a while.
Yeah.
So that's going to be for next year.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's coming up. And then, of course, nothing but Ireland on our minds, not only for the rugby, but for the tour next week. And just shot up like a light. We're still waiting on some dates, which is aggravating. We're waiting on some Kerry dates to be announced, to be confirmed, but we should have that hopefully by the next SlapperCast. So let's get our kills out of the way. Anybody know what they're going to kill?
I know what I'm killing.
Okay, kill it.
All right.
Yes. There he is. Look, he got his sunglasses on.
You woke up.
No, I didn't. Wicked game. Chris Isaak.
Good kill. Good kill.
I'm surprised. I'm pretty sure we haven't done this one before. I'm kind of surprised.
I didn't hate it when it came out.
No, again, it's one of those things. It's like not because I hate it, but it's one of those songs that was, from the moment it debuted, was just played to death, and like all the radio stations were in love with it. It was used in commercials, I think, and stuff. It just, and it's just one of those songs that's just indelibly like burned into my brain because I've heard it so many times. It is a good song. I like Chris Isaak. I think he's a cool guy. Definitely sort of a spawn of Roy Orbison and Elvis and Carl Perkins and all that whole ilk from the pioneer days of rock and roll. But that poor song has just been beat to death. So I just think maybe we should put it out of its misery.
I think that song too kind of pushed him in the way of those croony, ballady, soppy, wet, gooey numbers. Because he ended up, he did have a couple of very good, I can't think of any of the names. I own a couple of his records. I have a couple of his LPs, but
Didn't he do a bad thing? Isn't that him too?
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, all that rockabilly style stuff. But I think Wicked Game pushed him in that. And I think that he just would have been a little bit more rockabilly, psychobilly / rockin' stuff versus what he ended up being now. You know, there just seems to be so many of those. Anyway, sorry. The success of that track, I think, redirected his career.
Oh, really?
I think because I stopped buying his records after it was 2 records, 1 or 2 records after that. I'm great with names, but
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
Wasn't that 80s? Wasn't that late 80s when that came out?
I thought it was 90s.
Maybe.
No, definitely 90s.
It's been a long time. Anyway, and the one I'm going to shine a light on is somebody I haven't actually talked about on the show much, if at all. Jonathan Richman, who has had a very long, independent sort of indie career. And initially he was in a band called Modern Lovers, which featured 2 guys who went on. I think all of the members went on to be in other bands. The drummer, I forget his name, the drummer went on to join the Cars. And then the keyboardist was Jerry Harrison, who a couple of years later joined Talking Heads. But anyway, Jonathan Richman has a song that probably, all of this stuff is buried because he never really had a huge hit. There's a song called Affection, which I think is one of his most brilliant tunes that he put out, I think, in the 70s. It's just one of those songs you listen to, and if whether you want it to or not, it's going to hit you. You're going to be like, you're so right, man. God damn it, Jonathan Richman. So, but he's brilliant. I used to go see him play live. When back in the day, he would come to Fitzgerald's like every 2 or 3 times a year. He would be there, and they were always great. He's such a great performer, very spontaneous from the stage, great banter from the stage. And I think he was one of the first people to play at the Continental Club in Houston when it opened. That was the first time I ever went there myself, was seeing Jonathan Richman play. And yeah, he's a great guy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you ready, Turb? So
Yeah. You actually got me thinking, because we were talking about, instead of killing a song, killing a performance. But it sparked this performance that I saw when I was in high school, so I'm going to change which performance I'm going to kill. So when I was in high school, this was back in 98,
Yeah.
I went and saw, and this was in a stadium, and I went and saw, it was No Doubt, Goo Goo Dolls, and Bush. And I really loved Bush's first record. Like, I was a big fan of them.
Can I just jump out the window?
Yeah.
That's awful.
So I think this is one of the worst live performances that I've seen. I can honestly say, no exaggeration, and I'll tell you why, was Goo Goo Dolls. They were the supporting act. They were in the middle. I thought it was the most boringest show I'd ever seen. I was like, this sucks. And then at the very end, they like smashed the drums and smashed the guitar. They probably were upset, now that I think about it. That's why they smashed it. Yes.
God damn, this is boring.
But I just remember thinking, they don't deserve to do that. Like, they should not have done that. And that's what I remember from that moment. I couldn't tell you much else about that concert other than when we were going home. Like, I think we stayed the night, and the next day we were going home. That's what we talked about, was like how boring and how bad that was. It was like, man, you should have just left No Doubt up there. Like, they were at least fun. You know, the crowd enjoyed it, but man, so I'm killing that performance. Goo Goo Dolls, 1998. I think it was 98. 97 or 98 when they were touring with Bush.
That's like the epitome of what I didn't like about the 90s was that band.
The Goo Goo Dolls?
Goo Goo Dolls and like the, God, what's another, just boring.
Matchbox 20?
Yeah. Who are the guys who did the same song to Friends? That
Bare
kind
Naked
of,
Ladies? Is that Bare Naked Ladies?
No, but that's another good one too.
Rembrandts?
Rembrandts.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck all those bands. I hate all
just
that
all
shit.
of us just plain, just boring.
It definitely all sounds very
Jangle pop,
alike.
whatever
Like,
you
they
call
all are the same with a little different singer.
Yeah.
You know, the same
Yeah.
deal, but
Anyway.
Yeah, that's that formulaic shit that we're always bitching about.
Right.
Because they go, those guys are grunge. I'll just do that.
Yeah.
So, that Goo Goo Dolls, fuck all their songs. Oh my god, I can't stand any of that shit.
And who's the song that the band I killed this song before? Jealous? I think it was one of the first songs I killed. Jealousy.
Yeah.
Who does that song?
Hey Jealousy, that's is that see not only
Yeah.
not only do I hate that song, but I was working in the bars back when everybody was covering that song. So not only did you get It'll Come to Gin Blossoms.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
not only did I hate those songs, but then we hired all the bands that played those fucking songs.
Oh, God.
And
you get like a karaoke version of it.
yeah, well, that's generous. Yeah, it was evil. It was pure evil. Anyway, sorry, torture. Good.
Yeah.
So you're good. So I want to kill that performance.
Yeah.
So now you got me thinking. I have a couple other performances I think
Yeah.
I might kill down the road here on future segments.
Yeah.
But the song I'm going to shine a light on, so I guarantee you this is a band you haven't heard of. It's an all-girl punk rock band. They are from
Blaggards.
Blaggards. No, that's just a singer. I wish you could see your face from the profile. It's so good.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. They're a band called the Venomous Pinks.
I like the name.
Yeah. They've been around for a while. I crossed paths with one of the members of the band a long time ago when I lived out there, but I don't really know them now. It's been a long time, but they had an album that came out last year. I can't remember the name of the album, but the song's called We Must Prevail. And what I like about them is it's not an overproduced, they don't sound like some of the punk rock bands that are still going now and some of these eras, they all kind of sound a little the same. It's like this Newfound Glory style. where I say, there's a few, I don't want to diss them because I like them, but it's, this band doesn't sound like that. I think they have their own sound. You know, it's raw. I feel that. It's raw and it's super cool. And I just ordered some shirts from them in the mail off their site and got them. They sent me a bunch of stickers. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm totally a fanboy. But, yeah, I'm hoping next time we're out that way, maybe we can connect with them. But, cool band, and I think you guys should check it out, you know? Total raw punk rock, all-chick band, badass. Cool. They went on tour with Less Than Jake. They've got to tour recently with Bouncing Souls, you know, and I love those bands. Like, man, it's just really cool to see them doing what they're doing, so cool. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, my kill is easy. That fucking, I'm sure we've done it before, the Irish by Goo Goo Dolls. Just thought of that. Awful. I wasn't the one I was going to kill. The one I was going to kill was a, actually, let me shine the light first, because it'll escape me. I was listening to the I don't know where it came on, but the Vapors, Trinity Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Fun song, and I loved it when it came out. I just love the energy behind it, and I think it's very silly, but it's I like the bridge. I like their delivery of that song. I would have loved to have heard them cover China Girl by David Bowie, only because I want to get that ethnic thing going again, and the you know, on and on and on. I just that's out of nowhere.
You've often played that big uni riff.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking in my head, because I think it goes the G after that, the first chord.
Yeah.
It's always just when they kick right into it whenever you do that. It's such a good song.
Yeah. What's his name? Niles. David Bowie. Niles.
Niles Rodgers.
Yes, Rodgers. Good one. Good names. He brought that to David Bowie. He said, he's gonna hate it, and he fucking loved it. And I was like, oh, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, he funked it up too.
Yeah,
that he was self-conscious of it. He said that in interviews too. He's like, he did that with all the stuff he did with Let's Dance and all the other things. He's like, man, I really funked these up. Is it cool? I don't know if he didn't know if David was going to like it. David was like,
terrified.
Are you kidding me? This is brilliant.
Yeah, he was terrified that he was going to bring it just, to me, it was so cliche that I thought Bowie wouldn't like it. But I think it was so cliche. I think that was the reason why it was. Yeah. And it's brilliant too. He's such a musical. One of those guys like a Van Morrison who can just breathe music. He can just, he just improves the music being around, you know.
Yeah, if you want to hear, probably what a semblance of what it may have sounded like when we did it, if Niles hadn't put his touch on it, is the original because that song was written by Bowie and, with Bowie and Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
So it was originally on Iggy Pop's record first. So if you listen to that, it's very Iggy. Obviously, Iggy sings that version. Very different from Bowie's.
I wonder how many songs that are maybe huge in people's lives, or a certain riff, or something that almost didn't become a thing because somebody was worried, oh, this isn't good, and maybe they just pulled a plug on it, but they happened to just push it forward, and now it's something massive. Like, makes you wonder, like, what songs could have been lost because of that, or what songs maybe are lost, you know, because of it. Like,
well, that brings me back to a memory of a good friend of mine, Dominic Walsh, who was lucky enough to get lessons with Brian Downey of Thin Lizzy.
Yeah,
and he got to hear some of the unreleased. I don't know if any of the songs saw the light of day, but he was saying that some of them were better than some of the stuff that was on the radio, which is mind blowing. Which I'm hoping that the Phil Lynott estate will, continue to release these demos and these, just pieces of music.
Like, what if they're just recording a rehearsal and they're doing something and there's something in there they've never played again?
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. That blows my mind.
Yeah. And then the song "Kill," of course, that Goo Goo Dolls, I can't get that out of my head.
Sorry.
Oh, I hate that.
I should just apologize.
I just hate that. I never liked that band because it was. I wondered if they didn't have that pretty boy in the front, if they would have, ever made it out of the club. You know what I mean? Because it just didn't seem. And again, I'm biased. A lot of that '90s stuff was, and it's crazy to me because it's the soundtrack to a lot of people's lives. great example is Kelly Navarro, who's not only one of our favorites, but we also kill her favorites on a regular basis. And she's way younger than us. And so when I'm killing this stuff, that I like a Bush song, that comes to mind, that Breathe In, Breathe Out song. Fuck that song. Hate it.
Oh man, that's a good song.
Okay.
I liked it when it came out. I thought they had a little different sound. Like the guitar is a little different. Like I liked it.
I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people do, but again, that's one of the things I just couldn't take, because all these bands were doing the covers of it.
Yeah.
And not well, because it was, you had to, back in those days on the Richman Strip in sunny old Houston, Texas, we would the bands would have to keep up with the song that was number one, or like the top played songs on the radio. So these guys would come in, and we know it, Blaggards know it from rehearsing something and playing through it once or twice in the studio, and then taking it to the stage, and then we all look at each other and go, oh shit, and then, oh yeah, you're not supposed to just play it once and take it live. I mean, you can, but we're a little bit pickier than that to take these songs and just regurgitate them, and especially the new stuff. I've been working at the studio, and I've been cleaning it daily and just getting it. Oh my god, I actually enjoy being out there. I got the keyboard set up and I'm not messing with all this different stuff. But it's mind blowing on how, much like this conversation, much like SlapperCast episode 231, we take these tangents and we do U-turns and flips and digging holes and jumping out of windows. The conversation can go anywhere, and that's the same as a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Because I know we went in there last week. We went in there with that kind of reggae feel. But the first thing that we started messing around was this kind of Black Sabbath-y kind of riff. And I was listening to that and I was like, oh, these songs, this can go together.
Yeah.
That's what I love. And the things that I hate about that Bush song and the Goo Goo Dolls, the songs just didn't go anywhere. And they ended up just being this sticky, sweet, discharge, that you just can't fucking get off. You can't get anywhere. Can you think of right now, and I can tell you mine, can you think of the last earworm that you had? The last song that was just in your head you couldn't get rid of? Can anybody?
I mean, the whole time we've been doing this, I've been singing "Hey Jealousy" in my head the entire time. You just brought that up, and it's just running through.
He did.
Non-stop.
Don't blame me
on
on
I
that
thought
shit.
you did. It's like right now you're talking, I'm going. It's just digging right now. It's just burying its claws in.
Yeah.
So that'd be my.
Chad, can you remember your last earworm?
I don't. When you said that, I realized that I'm turning Japanese has been since you mentioned it's been going around. Before that, it was Wicked Game, but now.
Yeah, no, on Wicked Game, that's another one that will absolutely throw your dick in the dirt when you can't get it out of your head.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the one that's been recent. I got it now. Do you remember the band? I think they were 90s, Ace of Base.
Yes.
I remember the name.
All that she wants.
Yeah.
That song. That came on, and I told Stacey, I'm like, I need to shine a light on that one. And she goes, and I said, yeah, but I'll probably end up having to walk if I do. And then I was singing it for days.
Yeah.
So that was my hero.
They had several big hits.
Yeah.
I remember debating with my coworkers at Calvin Klein when I was working there in the 90s about that song. Is she talking about she wants another kid? Is that what she's saying?
Oh, I don't know.
Or she wants this another baby?
Maybe. Oh, man. Ace of Base. It was like the two guys and two girls.
Yeah, it was like people were calling them the new ABBA back then.
Yeah, I was part of this teen break thing. I was a teenager and we would go to this camp thing, and that was just, they just played that band was just on repeat. So it's in my soul. It's part of my DNA. Yeah. I feel like Ace of Base.
What was their other big hit? Ace of Base?
I can't remember. As soon as you play it, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Kelly Navarro would know.
Yeah.
Let's call her. Kelly, you're on live. No, you're not. She's going to disown us after this episode.
I know.
So yeah, we should wrap this up because I think we're going to come across some coffee, and nobody wants to see what we're going to do to coffee, right? Right.
I do, sir.
Oh, Yeah, did I kill us? Yeah, I killed a few songs.
Are you killing that Goo Goo song?
Yeah, I'll kill that one, but I also killed the Bush one, the
Yeah.
Breathe In, Breathe Out. Then,
Machine Head.
huh?
Machine
Head, thank you. Thank
I
you.
got you, dude. You know what's funny is you said it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why I wasn't a big fan of the second album. Because it's almost the same thing, but pulled down a little bit. I think it's like a worse version of the first album. And I'm like, I like when bands do similar stuff. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm like, why didn't I like it? Sometimes I don't know why I don't like something. I just don't like it. And then you can't figure out what is it I don't like about it.
You know what it is?
And then there's certain bands that you just don't even care. I just don't like it, and you just throw it away. It doesn't matter. You know, but what we say, Chad?
This is just from my perspective. I think, Patrick, you probably agree with me.
No.
From you and I coming from the 80s, listening mostly to stuff from the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of cheesy songs in both decades, but one thing you can say is it was never boring. And not all these bands we're just talking about in the 90s, to me anyway, were just boring as death. This the songwriting and stuff just became very remedial, and it's gotten worse in the 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's for me is where that comes from.
I mean, a perfect example of a band that I liked that didn't change, other than maybe the musicianship got better, so the songs got a little bit better, was a band like Bad Religion. I love their formula. I love that they. I'm like, man, don't derail it because I love it. Like,
I didn't know about them until much later, but I agree with you on that. Some of the stuff was really well written and very, very written for a big audience. You know, like a live audience. They didn't write that to be listened to like a Pink Floyd record or something. They wrote that to play live and to do, which I love. Oh, I had it.
but you get a band like Chad, you and I were listening to the other week was AFI.
Yeah.
You know, they're
They're
more punk
something
rock,
special.
and then it completely changed. You know, I like the change of them. I know they got hammered for some of that, but I'm like, man, I love the new stuff. So
That early stuff definitely had some teeth.
yeah, man, that Black Sails album, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's so good, start to finish. There's not many albums I would hit play start to finish. Like, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Man, it's so freaking good. I want them to go on tour and just play that record. Forget everything else, dude. Just play that record start to finish. I would be there.
He doesn't know what we're talking about yet. At some point,
We'll share it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on the 90s versus the 80s.
yeah.
That little tangent, that's where I just can't believe how far away that we are from the 80s now.
I know.
Because to me it seems like it's just the last decade. Only because I bypassed so many of the 90s offerings, so I kind of skipped a decade. You know, I kind of the bands that never change, the bands that just keep doing the same. AC/DC comes to mind every time I think of a band that just did the same record, but maybe with a little bit better. You know, maybe the riffs were a little bit better, or there was just a tiny little step forward, but they deliver the same rock and roll record every time. I remember talking to a friend of mine years ago, and Springsteen had released a record, and his Springsteen is kind of like the folk Rammstein in that his audience will never abandon him. However, they got close when he did one of the, I don't know the names of the records, there's only 18,000 of them, but he did one of the records, and I remember talking to a Springsteen fanatic, and they were going, I don't know if I like any songs on this new record. I was like, oh, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Rammstein, that band will continue to elevate not just their music, but their stage show and their production and their wardrobe, the lights, blah 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 blah. I mean, they set up a small city for each show. It's one of the most, I've yet to see them in concert, but their footage has been breathtaking. And their sound too. Their sound is so perfect. It's like 1980s with all the power.
Eminem had an album like that too, where it was his recovery album. It was like, how can he just keep leveling up? You're like, there's no way he's gonna beat this album. And he just kept going. He had this one album that was like, what was that? It almost seemed like the tracks that didn't make the other albums. Like, that's how I felt.
I don't know anything about him.
I had tons of his stuff.
Yeah.
That one I never play. I just don't play it.
Oh, wow.
It's like, it's there, it's fine.
Yeah,
I think if it would have came out early, it would have been fine, but
Yeah.
dude, your other ones are so good. These songs are so good. You're like,
Yeah.
you can't.
Well, Iron Maiden did that, and we've spoken about him and dogged him enough. The Blaze Bayley era of there was only 2 records, but when Blaze Bayley sang for Iron Maiden, they essentially went in the toilet for a couple of records, and it's just because you're used to having that singer, and then he's gone, and now it's another. This is classic Texas. You know you're in Texas because every motherfucker's in the left-hand lane, and you got nothing in the right. These guys. It's embarrassing. Anyway, other states do it, but not to this extent, to where you have everybody with trailers and all kinds of stuff on their. Doesn't matter what they're towing, where they're going, how far. They'll just sit in there with no agenda, and they'll just. And so both lanes back up for hundreds of thousands of miles. It's hilarious.
The burn ban's not in effect anymore, so now they're rubbernecking all the.
Oh, I don't know if you can see this too, but we are. We're going down weird. 68 degrees.
Yeah.
Not a fucking cloud in the sky. This is gorgeous out here. So why don't we just kick this one in the head? And thank you all profusely for watching, listening, sharing, loving, liking, whatever you got to do. Thank you for tagging along on SlapperCast episode 244. And thank you for listening. And next week, actually this week now because it's Slapper Day, we're going to be at Keneally's. We're going to do their 40th anniversary. We're going out to Southeast Texas Renaissance Fair on Sunday, and you should come along. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.